What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. First of all, congratulations to Corey for winning the $100 gift card giveaway. Got a hold of him. He chose the PlayStation Store to get a gift card on, and I'm sure he's already picked out a few games and everything. So congratulations to Corey. We, of course, have the two $50 gift cards that are being given away, so two people will win. The link is down below if you want to check that one out. Today, we have to go over a few things because it looks like that Apex Legends game is getting announced later on today. I'll give you the time and details on where you can find out all of that information. Appears to be a free-to-play game that will be kind of interesting to see Respawn's take on the Battle Royale, I guess, genre at this point. That's kind of played out, but hey, everyone's still into them, so let's see what Respawn can do, I guess. And then Microsoft appears to be heading to GDC with plans for how more developers can actually incorporate Xbox Live cross-platform, and that includes Xbox Live on the Switch. It's interesting stuff to see where this goes. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, hit the like button. It really helps out. We're going to start today with the PlayStation Classic, because that system is flying off the shelves. So much so that they got to drop that thing to $30 now. It's just too many people are buying them. Now, a lot of people are posting now on Twitter that the prices on those things have been slashed so far down. Izzy Nobre actually put a tweet out that showed a picture of it at what appeared to be a Costco, and it was down to $30, $29.99. And he said that is Canadian, so it's actually worse than it even looks in that picture. Several people have seen it in Walmarts. I've seen it in Walmarts for slash prices. I've seen 50, I've seen 60, and every time I go to Walmart, the same stock appears to be there. It doesn't really ever move. So I don't think Sony's outing for this plug and play wasn't very good. No, not at all. And I wonder if they'll try it again, or if they're just going to say, PS5's coming, we're not going to mess with the plug-and-play systems. Nintendo did sell much more. I think they sold another, like, almost 5 million units or something so far this past fiscal year for the plug-and-play units. So they did a bit more than Sony, I would say, and they didn't do anything. They didn't announce anything. They just still had the same systems. But of course, they've now discontinued production on them, so whatever you see in stores now for the Super Nintendo and Nintendo Classic is it. But yeah, Sony, we'll see if they can do maybe a PlayStation 1 Slim and try to do it right. Or maybe they jump to the PS2 Classic, or maybe they just say, plug and plays aren't for us. Also, if you need any more proof that Fallout 76 appears to be overstocked at most places or just didn't sell as well as these stores were anticipating it to sell, on Reddit, a few people posted that there were certain retailers that were actually packaging a second copy of Fallout 76 with an Xbox One. Now, why do I mean second? Well, if you see the picture here, this was actually posted over on Reddit, and you can see that there is, of course, the Fallout 76 bundle, and then it also comes with a game. This is over in Germany from a retailer called Saturn, and that's where we are with Fallout 76. Retailers are just trying to give it away. Remember, there was a point where if you bought like a controller, you get a free copy of Fallout 76. I feel like if they could send them back, they would. And again, this happens at times where you just can't send stuff back if you order too many. It was seriously an issue in retail at the time. For smaller stores, it was a problem. I know bigger stores have like shrink and you know, they'll write stuff off as a loss and everything, so they'll figure it out. And as long as they weren't teetering on the edge, it won't break them or anything. But yeah, Fallout 76 is not doing well. Surprise, I guess, right? They're just giving them away now. So for whatever reason, if you need two copies, maybe you want one, you want to give it to a friend so they can play with you, then you can do that. Sounds like an enjoyable time with Fallout 76. Also, I know a lot of people were concerned about the Nintendo Switch version of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled after it was announced, shown off. Initially, it was shown off with like a PlayStation trailer, and then we found out that it was going to everything pretty much, the Xbox, the PS4, the Switch, and everything. But the Switch version seemed to have some issues. As retailers pulled them down, it was coming soon on their website, which it still is, strangely. Maybe they're just slow to update their website, because now all the retailers that I've seen have reopened pre-orders, and it is coming out, according to them, June 21st. So everything seems to be back on for Crash Team Racing on the Switch. I know, like I said, there was a scare because it was coming out at that time on the PS4 and Xbox One. We weren't sure with the Switch. It does look to be the case. That's good news for people who are looking around for it. I'm curious why they haven't updated their site. Again, they just might be slow to getting to actually updating that, which seems weird because you figure they'd be the first ones to do it. However, it's very possible that Amazon and Walmart and GameStop may have had it updated in their system, and then their websites automatically updated it. I've seen that happen before. That's why we get leaks sometimes for games, because these systems are like linked to databases and they just automatically update. But there you go. Crash Team Racing seems at least on track right now, no pun intended, for the Switch alongside the other versions. All right, guys, some of the quick news out of the way. Let's get into the bigger stuff. And we're going to start with something that has a very large implications overall between crossplay and the relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo. See, there is GDC that's going on at the end of March. Starts March 18th. I think it runs to like the 22nd or the 23rd. And that's, of course, where a bunch of developers get together for a conference, talk about all kinds of stuff when it comes to games and development and all kinds of applications. Well, Microsoft is showing up there, and they're running a panel where they're going to be introducing an SDK that will allow developers pretty much full access to Xbox Live across platforms. And they specifically name Android and the Switch, and it looks like they're pretty much giving developers the ability to do what they've already done with Minecraft. So if you're unfamiliar with Minecraft on, say, the Switch, the Better Together update that came out, you actually sign in to your Xbox Live account and you can earn achievements while playing the Switch version, which was really weird at first, right? You're on your Switch and all of a sudden, oh, I gotta sign into Xbox Live. That's one of the reasons a lot of people are thinking that Sony wasn't really feeling the Better Together update, wasn't really interested in crossplay there and getting that version of Minecraft. So because I guess you have to sign in through Xbox Live, Sony, they weren't that interested. Nintendo doesn't seem to care. They're still trying to get, on their feet with their online service as it is. But yeah, it seems like Xbox Live is going to be showing up on maybe more Switch games. This is just a little snippet from the description of their conference. Get a first look at the SDK to enable game developers to connect players between iOS, Android, and Switch, in addition to Xbox, in any game in the Microsoft Store on Windows PC. This will break down barriers for developers that want their communities to mingle more freely across platforms. Combined with PlayFab gaming services, this means less work for game developers and more time to focus on making games fun. So yeah, essentially they're going to be showing off this SDK that I assume is going to be live pretty soon after GDC, if they're showing it off here, probably getting feedback and really just trying to show developers how to use it. At that point, you might see more crossplay games that Nintendo, I guess, is fine with if they're signing off for this SDK to be usable on the Switch, to where you get in the game and you sign in, and then all of a sudden you're in your Xbox Live account on your Switch, and maybe, I guess, you earn achievements. So, like, the Switch technically gets achievements through Xbox Live, much like what we see with Minecraft, without Nintendo having to incorporate that themselves. It's an interesting relationship that we're seeing between Nintendo and Microsoft. One, of course, being Microsoft heavily focused on the services aspect of gaming. Nintendo is more focused on the hardware, the exclusive game side, for example. They're still trying to work out their services, right? The Nintendo Online is a service that they're still trying to play around with. I feel like they would do well with their own Netflix style thing, like how Game Pass is, but with like older legacy games through the Nintendo, like its history, right? Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advanced, N64, GameCube, and the list goes on. You could pick out a ton of games. They could throw like 4 or 5 in there a month, and people would probably pay $10 a month or $120 a year for that service, and they're still trying to figure that out. Like, and Microsoft has Game Pass that has day one, releases dropping there for $10 a month, and they have, of course, their achievements. Now they're going like next level with this stuff, and they're expanding Xbox Live to other devices outside of the Xbox that it plays games like the Switch. So interesting stuff. I'm gonna be curious to see what the next game is that will use that, because as far as we know, Minecraft is like the one right now that everyone uses, and that's, of course, developed it's Microsoft's game. So yeah, that makes sense. Let's see what third-party game uses it, because that could actually be interesting, and we'll see where this relationship goes with Nintendo and Microsoft, because it seems like it just continues to grow more and more as we go along. So we'll see what happens here. Next up, let's talk about Metro Exodus. Remember, this is the game that dropped out of Steam, went to the Epic Game Store after advertising on Steam for a long time, and is now exclusive to the Epic Game Store after what appears to be a deal between Deep Silver, THQ Nordic, and then just Epic Games. And of course, a lot of people weren't happy. Review bombing took place. There's been word of boycotts on the PC after all of this happened. And, well, they don't seem very happy. And I'm not even just talking about the people, like the gamers, who aren't happy, even the developers. And this isn't necessarily the people who made the deal, because remember, Deep Silver made the deal along with THQ Nordic, not necessarily people who are developing for this game, but for them to actually go out there and say stuff seems really, really dumb. But they did it anyway, and this is actually in a post. Actually, in Russian, it was translated. A lot of people use Google Translate, but then others looked at it as well to kind of confirm the basic idea. Get ready for this one, they said. To this, I can answer that in a pinch. If at all the PC players announce a boycott of the Metro, then the next Metro, if it does, is definitely not on PC. So yeah, basically the developer said, hey, if you guys boycott this thing, if you don't buy it on PC, we're not gonna bring it to PC, we'll go console only. And that's actually very weird, because Metro has been very, very closely related, a tight-knit group to PC. if you remember back then, they introduced some features that made video cards really work. Like they had like full tessellation, DirectX 11, all this stuff. And it started to become kind of the crisis, like the new age crisis, that you get your video card and you turn this thing up and you can see if you can hit 30 frames per second on it. Yeah, it was like that back then with the first Metro 2033. And then they started going to console, and I'm sure they did fine there. But this is a weird thing for a developer to come out and say. They didn't make the deal, but of course, I'm sure they're frustrated seeing all the talk of boycotts and stuff working around the game that they are working on. But it's a weird thing to threaten gamers who are already thinking about boycotting. They hear that and they go, well, okay, well, we'll definitely boycott it now. And Deep Silver did, along with Koch Media, did damage control and figure out a statement they could put out saying, the recent comments made by a member of the 4A Games development team do not reflect Deep Silver's or 4A Games' view on the future of the franchise. They do reflect the hurt and disappointment of a passionate individual who has seen what was previously nothing but positive goodwill towards his work turn to controversy due to a business decision he had no control over. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's Deep Silver and it's THQ Nordic. Now, I don't know why, again, they would go out there and say that. They're posting on a message board. They're probably just like angry and like typing into, on a keyboard. And I doubt every person there is thinking the same way. But if you're going online, and whether you like it or not, you're going to represent the company that you're working for a lot of times. Even if you don't want to or you don't mean for it to, it's going to happen. I mean, if you logged in, you were anonymous, and you were like, I bet you they won't bring it to the PC if we keep doing this, then no one would ever know. But at that point, you're under really a name that they associate with the development company. And again, threatening the gamers that are already mad about the situation is not going to make them less mad. And of course, this is Deep Silver doing this, and it wasn't a great decision in the first place. They had to know there was going to be backlash. I wonder if they knew it would be this bad. I wonder how much money they got from the Epic Game Store, because I kind of hope it was a lot, because there's been some damage done here by this rash decision. I would say jumping ship 2 weeks before the game comes out. If they had done this a year ago, right, and they said, oh, we're going to release exclusively on the Epic Game Store, I don't think people would have cared closer to release date, because they probably would have forgot. And it's still very fresh in their mind, and the release date is right around the corner, so we'll see how sales go. Next up, I need everyone to calm down before I show this trademark, okay, because this is something else. I did not see this one coming. Now, I also want to stress that if a trademark takes place, there's always a chance that the company, they're just trademarking it to make sure that they keep the trademark, right? They renew them and they'll put them out there and everything just to make sure everything's on the up and up with trademarks. But EA trademarked Jade Empire the other day, and it sent everyone scrambling at least a bit. Now, if you don't know Jade Empire, it was one that was developed and put out by BioWare back on the original Xbox. Developed a bit of a cult following, I guess you'd say. It is backwards compatible on the Xbox One now. You can go in the store and buy it for, I think, $10, but it wasn't made by BioWare. It was after the Knights of the Old Republic had pretty much come out and kind of finished up, I guess, on the system, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and then they kind of shift over to a different style game that wasn't as much of a standstill menu-driven RPG, but more of, I would say, more action-y kind of. I mean, it's still slower paced and everything, but it was really cool. It still had the dialogue choices and everything. People are thinking now there's a possibility, again, trademarks, I get it. It could just be paperwork, but there is a possibility that maybe there's some kind of Jade Empire remaster happening where they bring them up to the newer systems, right? Maybe there's a sequel. Who knows? The thing about that is, my issue with EA is they don't want to do stuff they can't figure out how to monetize it further beyond that price point. Although they did do Burnout, I guess, and that was maybe just something they did and they just wanted to put out there, but still, I guess if they can figure out how to monetize Jade Empire further, they'll do it. I'd like to think somewhere in EA, someone has to at least be interested in trying to develop a game that's not full of microtransactions and not just like a way to nickel and dime you. Like, let's make a game that's fun, see if it sells, I mean, if it sells 5-6 million copies, that's pretty good for a smaller project. And if it's something like Jade Empire, I'd be on the board. Or it's just a trademark they were renewing, who knows. Either way, it was pretty interesting to see. Then our last bit of news, let's talk about Apex Legends very quickly, because yes, it is real. During the Super Bowl, you saw all kinds of Twitch streamers, personalities, and everything kind of start to talk about it, put it out there, and then the CEO of Respawn himself tweeted saying, looks like everything is unlocked now, fun. So if you like Respawn, our games, or even me, you should tune in tomorrow. Our stream starts at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll tell you everything about Apex Legends. Everything. So there you go. 11 a.m. You should be able to find out more about Apex Legends. We assume it's also launching today. So it's coming out today. You should be hopefully able to start playing it. It's free to play. They're going to show it off 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not going into this thinking it's a Titanfall because it's kind of been said that it's not, right? No Titans. It's going to be mostly gunplay done by Respawn, where you're pretty much on the level and you're basically you against other people. No Titans being dropped in or anything. And it's not really called Titanfall. It's called, I guess, Apex Legends. So I'm interested. I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to watch this stream and see what we're dealing with. And then if it's out, I guess I'll download it and play it. The word is PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4. So interesting to see, and I'll be curious to see Respawn's take on Battle Royale. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether there's Xbox Live going cross-platform through an SDK for all types of different developers at GDC. What games do you think would work with having Xbox Live cross-platform on the Switch and the Xbox, outside of something like Minecraft? Let me know about that. And then what do you think about something like Jade Empire? Would you like to see Jade Empire get some kind of remaster or remake? Let me know about that as well. And do you think EA could still pull it off despite BioWare seemingly being very, very busy with Anthem? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.